Welcome to the Games Freezer.
Hello, this is Richard and this is Games Freezer and this is Beholder, the complete edition. I'm doing a 10-minute taster so you can get a feeling for this game. It's an interesting premise, in fact. You are Cole Steen, and you're a landlord of some crusty old apartment, and you've been put in place by some kind of government department that have tested some kind of anti-sleep drug on you and then put you in place of this poor guy who is now being booted out of his position as the landlord.
Your family are given an apartment on the first
So your family are thrown into this apartment and basically told to get on with their lives while you go around spying on everyone who lives there, basically, and becoming an informant for the government or not. Now, I suppose that's where it gets kind of interesting. You can take it your own way. You can work with the state, with the government, or you can work against them. You can take your own kind of line through the game. You can sort of deal in contraband, you can steal things from the apartments, or you can play it straight down the line and do exactly what you're told in hope that you'll save yourself and your family as you go through the game. It's a pretty interesting concept. And a game like this I haven't come across previously, so it's interesting for me to just get involved in this one and have a look, see what it's all about. So I'm going to play like the first, say, 15 minutes of it just to get a feel for the tutorial and how things pan out, and I'll leave you to make up your own minds on whether it's a game that you'd like to get involved with. So it's being played at the minute on PS4, my trusty PS4, and yeah, it feels pretty good using the controller as your main input. You're basically based across these floors of this apartment building. So it's kind of like a one-screen game where you can zoom in and out of the building, and you're pretty much kind of doing a surveillance job across that one screen. So this is the guy from the Ministry of Order who you're employed by, and he is going to start giving you a bit of background to what you want to be doing and how to do it, and that'll be a part of the tutorial. So basically you're tasked with keeping your eyes open, reporting everything that your tenants do, because as you find as you go through, there are government directives that point out things that are illegal, and those become more and more bizarre, such as all apples must be destroyed, reading of particular books are not allowed. So this is kind of living under a dictatorship that's akin to many of those dictatorships that are out in the real world now, I suppose. So yeah, an interesting take. So first things first, you will get to learn how to set up surveillance. Now that comes in the form of these cameras. So you start out with two that your predecessor has left in this desk. You go over to a particular piece of furniture, press X, and you'll be given the option to search that piece of furniture, and during that time you might uncover some items of use that you can sell. In this case, we knew already that we've got two surveillance cameras that we can use, and the surveillance cameras are fitted into those kind of smoke detector looking things on the ceiling. I suppose they're alarms, so you can pop one in there and one in there. and those give you a field of vision that could be wide or narrow, and it depends how much you pay for the actual surveillance equipment as to how wide your field of vision is. So that's something to bear in mind as you buy new ones. You'll get these reputation points as you complete tasks, and you'll also be given money, and you can use that money then to buy further items to assist with your surveillance duties. Primarily, to begin with, it's security cameras. And once you've kind of done your surveillance and maybe built up some information on particular tenants who are breaking the law, it's then your duty as the caretaker to file a report against these persons and submit the evidence that you've gathered. Now, you can submit evidence by catching them in the act of doing things, and that evidence gets stored on that right hand side tab, the R1 tab, and then as you file a report you can refer back to the evidence that you've gained during your surveillance and attach it to the report. If you see someone doing something illegal, it comes up with a prompt on the screen, like a round circle prompt, and you'll need to press R3 in order to capture that evidence. Once you've done that, you're then able to use that on your report when you go back to the government. So yeah, again, all very interesting concepts. I like the sound of it, although I've got to admit, with it only being one screen and a finite number of rooms for now, it may turn out to be a little repetitive over the course of time. But having only just started playing it, I'd say give it a chance, because there is also, with this complete edition, a separate story to play as well, so that's quite interesting. Right, okay, so what am I doing now? Well, I need to set up some surveillance cameras in this apartment to see if I can see what Jacob Minishek is up to see whether he's committing any crimes. I've actually taken the cameras out of my basement apartment and reused those up here, because I thought, why not, rather than buying them. So let's do that. Sometimes the view can be a bit fiddly when you're getting used to it. And I also found that at first I was trying to get the right positions to search things was kind of tough, because you've got to get in the right position for that X to appear, because if the X doesn't appear you can't search. But I found out that you can use the D-pad to switch between the items that are choosable. Now I've found something here. This Jacob Minishek likes to gamble, so that was through searching of his possessions. You can either steal the possession or you can log it if it's something that is of use. So I found a bottle here as well, so that's information I can add as well. He's a gambler. He's kind of a dangerous guy because he's got a dangerous weapon in the form of a broken bottle in his side table. So he's obviously one to watch out for. Now when that bus pulls up, generally it's got residents in it. Oh, yeah, that's Jacob Minishek. And I mustn't be caught in their apartments, because then they'll become suspicious of me. And I believe they're able to call the police eventually if you persist. So you don't want that to happen, because the police are double-hard bastards basically. They don't take no shit, as you saw in the opening sequences when they were booting my predecessor out of the building. Right, so I've tried to talk to Jacob Minishek. He's having none of it, because he's a bit of a greasy character. So I'll have to catch him in the act in order to get any more evidence on him. So I can look through the keyhole and see what he's up to. Look, he's thinking about, looks like drugs. So I'm assuming that he's caught up in some kind of drug situation. I've got to go and call the ministry. So let's head back down. So you can run with B as well if you want to speedily get back. When that phone rings as well, which it does every now and again, you need to make sure you answer that call, otherwise the ministry won't be happy. That's assuming you want to keep the ministry happy and stay alive, etc. Okay, so yep, it's just reiterating the fact that I need to catch Jacob Minichek in the act before I can log anything. Okay, so it's talking me through the R3. He's going to go to bed now. I think if I was a bit quicker I would have got him then. So let's just see what happens next. Look, here's the government directives. Production of drugs is prohibited. Kind of speaks for itself, so it's not too crazy at the minute, but they seem to get worse and worse. Yeah, all apples must be destroyed. Well, it's illegal to basically own apples. So you use that, you walk into the stairwell and you can use the on-screen prompt to go to the relevant floor. You get a daily newspaper that keeps you up to date with all goings on in the city, and then on the reverse of it, the Voice of Truth is kind of giving the counter argument to whatever that daily story might be. Now this guy here, Nathan Kerner, he is the local black market guy who will sell you all sorts of different items that might be of use. So he's a good one to bear in mind, especially if you've got any items that you've found that you want to sell, because you can make money that way. If you go into your apartment, there's quite a few bits and bobs knocking around in there that you can sell straight off the bat. Let's have a look through here. Right, so they're asleep in that one, so I can't go in there. I was thinking I might set up another surveillance camera while I'm waiting for old Minichek to wake up. You can actually fast forward the clock using triangle, and you can pause things as well with square if you would wish to do so. Let's have a look what Minichek's up to. Right, he's back on the phone looking for drugs by the looks of it. He's talking to some kind of dealer, I'd say, some kind of dodgy dealer. Maybe having an argument with him. I'm just going by these emotes, thinking about drugs. Okay, well, everything points to this guy. Ah, here we go. Right, banked it. R3 goes into the evidence collected. Caught him in the act. So now I've collected enough evidence for him to be arrested. He's not a very nice character anyway, so I'm not going to feel too bad about it, I've got to admit. Especially as he kind of indirectly threatened my family. Right, this is the point where we go to writing a report. So write a report from your desk. Although they call it table in there, I don't know why, because the table's out in the main area. Anyway, then you go to the profile of the person. You pop your evidence on there with a quick press of the button. Once that's filed, then immediately the police will come along and deal its own brand of justice. Oh, smash the door down. Come here, son. Wallop, wallop. So yeah, pretty grim reality that it's painting here. Ooh, run over by the bus. I like the art style on this game, I've got to admit. It's done pretty well. It's a good kind of like drawing style I like. So there you go. So that's my first eviction, and that's kind of how the game will progress. See if you like it. My name's Richard. This is the Games Freezer 10-minute taster for Beholder.
www.gamesfreezer.eu